Welcome to On Point by Target River, the podcast where strategy meets execution with a little fun. I'm your host, Brian, and each episode will break down what actually works in marketing, sales, and growth so you can stay sharp, focused, and always on point. Let's dive in. So in advertising, there's this category or marketing channel called out of home. Okay, you might have heard of it or know of it as billboard advertising. But it also includes things like advertising on transit. So think buses, trolleys, trains, and other subways and things like that. Or also the transit station. So the places where people wait to catch that next bus or trolley or train. Inside and outside, right? You've probably seen those before. A lot of people advertise on those types of things, and many times they actually are the right marketing choice to promote your organization or business. Now, side note, a rabbit that I'm going to chase here for a second is many times it's not, because if we go back to the principles of target marketing, can you control who actually is seeing or not seeing that ad? The answer is really no. But for many organizations that do need to reach a lot of folks, this form of advertising can be highly effective. But here's where many of them go wrong, okay? I've had this notion to start a social media campaign around a single hashtag called bad ads. And we would use all of the examples of bad billboards, bus ads, trolley ads, and the like, where people miss the mark completely. Okay. Now you're going, what do you mean? Why? If it's out there and it's good, it must be, maybe it's helpful and it's effective. But let me ask you this. And if you haven't thought about it, and you might not have because you're not a marketing nerd like me, I think about this all the time. If in fact, driving here to where I'm recording this podcast from the office today, I saw a couple of trolleys pass by me as I was going through downtown here in Salt Lake City. And one of them had an ad. Okay. It would be part of my hashtag bad ad campaign, because the only reason I could tell you why or who the advertiser was because I was stopped next to it at a light. Otherwise, imagine if I'm driving this way and the train's going along this way as well. What are the odds of me actually seeing that ad on the side of the train? Because I'm supposed to be driving forward or looking forward, right? So sometimes it's just a simple fact that you didn't make the message good enough, big enough. How many times have you seen something? I want to challenge you to do this. So the next time you're in your car, you're out about driving around, or somebody else is, pay attention to some of those ads or those billboards, okay? And if you're not in marketing, well, that's fine, because this can help with some other principles that we'll dive into here. But so often we look and we're like, oh my gosh, this billboard we're going to buy is 40 feet long and it's 8 or 10 or 12 feet tall. That's a huge, massive space. Yes, it is. But keep in fact this. I don't know where you live and where you're listening from or watching from. Maybe your speed limit's a little different here, but in Utah, we've got just 20 minutes away a freeway that I can go 80 miles an hour on. Okay. So if I'm going 80 miles an hour down that road and I pass your billboard and you've got a catchy slogan and a tagline and some artwork and a photo, and then you've got a website listed, and then some bozos even put a scan me QR code on the billboard. What are the odds that I'm going to remember any of it, let alone one item from it? Okay. And here's the problem. Many times when people are approving the design of these things, what are we doing? We're not sitting there imagining or doing it as we go along the billboard on the freeway at a fast pace. We're approving it maybe on a printed piece of paper, where we can sit and stare and look at it for a while and see how that design is. And we get all excited about it. Maybe we're looking at it on a computer device. And again, we're not distracted. We don't have other things going by us. We're not driving fast. We're sitting there staring and looking at it going, oh my gosh, this is so pretty and this is beautiful. Okay. But most of you are wasting your money with bad creative and bad ads that are not memorable, because you put too much stuff into it and you tried to win an art design rather than the basic principle of out-of-home advertising is this. Plant a seed in your consumer's brain of who you are, okay? So your first litmus or test is, if someone goes by that trolley or transit station or that bus that you're advertising on or that billboard that you're on, could they even tell you who you were or who was advertising after they got past you? Okay. And now in a lot of states, there's a lot of digital versions as well. So now you're throwing it in the fact that maybe, and most digital billboards run for about 8 seconds. Okay. But that 8 seconds isn't the same 8 seconds for everybody passing by. For one person that passed by, maybe that ad switched right when they got to it. So they only saw it for a second. Maybe someone saw it for 4 seconds. Maybe someone did luck out, and because of traffic, they actually saw it for the whole 8 seconds. But we can't assume everybody's going to. Yet everybody gets excited about digital ads. Again, you're wasting your money and you're wondering why you're not getting the results you want. It's because you're designing the ads badly, poorly, okay? So please stop doing bad ads. Now, what does that mean? How do I stop doing them? We need to do all this stuff. No, it can be pretty basic. What's your organization? Do you have a logo? Is it simple? Fine, put that on there, but make it huge. Because again, not only do you have the distraction of speed against you, you've got traffic, you've got other vehicles going by. That billboard might be 100 feet or 100 yards off the freeway from where you're driving. There might be buildings before or after it, or trees or other things. There could be lighting issues. So many things are catching our attention. So if we're going to put our name, our logo on there, it's got to be clear and simple, not complicated, okay? If you have a really complicated logo, scratch the logo. Just put your name in huge letters on there, okay? Now, what's one other thing, right? Our first goal is, will they remember who was advertising? Yes. Okay, great. Can we get them to remember something else? Sure. Perfect. That might be a simple catchphrase or tagline, or maybe it's just the image of your product. Okay. So in Utah, where I'm recording this today, we have the blanket wars going on. Okay. So there's a few companies that are from this area that compete because they all claim to have the softest blankets, the best blankets in the world. Okay. I'm not going to reveal my bias to one of the brands, but there is one that I love, right? Well, they've got some competition now and they've gone to the billboards. Okay. Some of their ads are actually pretty good. They show a big fluffy blanket with someone curled up in it and their name. Perfect. I don't need to be told a whole bunch of things. If you saw an image of somebody all snuggled up in a blanket, what would you think? Oh, that's a nice looking blanket and it's probably soft because they're curled up in it. Wonder who's selling it, right? Now, some of them have failed and they've started creating those bad ads because they're starting to put more product information in there and they're putting a website and all of that stuff. Are people really going to remember a website from a billboard? Okay, so there's one that a government agency is running on the way to my house. That's by my house here in Utah. And they did a catchy design to try to play off one of the new license plate designs we have in this state. But then the wheels fall off on this billboard because it's got the license plate design and the concept of the billboard is to save water. Okay, we happen to be one of the driest states in America and we need more water and we're not getting it. Okay, so there's a campaign around slow the flow. Okay, so they've got this design of the license plate. It's supposed to be as if it's a personalized plate and it says SAVWTR, save water. Great, awesome. I get the concept. You do too. And especially if you live here, oh, what does that mean? I should probably save some water. Maybe water a little less, take shorter showers. I don't know, whatever you can do to save water. They could have stopped there, but the agency that's running this campaign for the government failed. Here's why they failed. They took the slow the flow logo, tried to shove that on there. They took the website and put it on there as well. And you're going, maybe you're thinking, well, Brian, you remember that website very well. The only reason I do is because I pass the darn thing every single day going home And I'm a nerd and I'm paying attention to this stuff. And the other night, traffic was there, so I happened to be able to get all the details and took a mental picture of it, okay? But how many of us are actually doing that? So when you're building your content and your stories, you want to think about how I can get a simple message that's memorable. Now, we've talked a lot about billboards, but the same principle holds true when we're doing social media ads. Okay, so I'm going to pull my phone out for a second. And how many of us scroll through Facebook or Instagram like this? And we're going through pretty quick, right? And our brains are deciding in a matter of maybe half a second to a second, am I going to stop and slow down and read this post, watch this video or not? And we fail because we put so much information into that image, our brain can't process it fast enough. And our finger just keeps going. And it could have been the answer we were looking for. The product that was going to help us lose 20 pounds or, whatever it is that you're trying to solve in your life. But because they didn't have a good ad, we missed the opportunity. So keep it simple when you're putting your messaging together. Think about the experience that people are having when they're watching it or using it or seeing it. And where are they? And what do we want them to do? So in the case of that out-of-home advertising, our simple goal is to get them to remember you. Then if they want to learn more, what are they going to do? They're going to go to a search platform or AI or somewhere else and ask about the organization or your brand and then get more details. So it's important to have a good website and good search engine optimization, of course. So when they do that search, they find you and not a competitor. But let the billboard do its part and let your other aspects of marketing do their part as well. When you start to do that, two things happen. You're going to get greater results. And number two, you're less likely to end up in our bad ads campaign. Thanks for listening to On Point by Target River. If you're ready to grow your organization with real strategy that generates meaningful results, visit targetriver.com and connect with our team today. Stay focused, stay winning, and stay on point. We'll see you next time.